Hey guys, this is a long playing review for Dynamite Dux on the Amstrad CPC. And yep guys, this is yet another arcade conversion I'm looking at, and it's one of my favourites actually to the Amstrad. This plays a really good game and looks absolutely fantastic. Now Dynamite Dux was a coin-op from Sega in 1989, and it's based on the Sega System 16 board, which was used for like Golden Axe and Altered Beast around about the same time. And yeah, Dynamite Dux was relatively popular. Obviously not as popular as the aforementioned Golden Axe and Altered Beast, but I thought this is always a cool little arcade machine. So we're going to take a very quick look at the coin-op in action, so you can get a feel for what the original was like and how it sort of has converted and compares on the Amstrad. And basically the story behind the game is you can take control of two ducks called a bin or pin. And here's a bit of the backstory here. That's Lucy, you're the owner of the two ducks, who they're her pets. And she gets captured by an evil magician called Achacha and taken away to the land of Achacha or something like that. And off Bin and Pin go to rescue her. And yes, and some 6 stages and some rather dodgy product placement and advertising for KFC there, if you notice. But this is a really great fun sort of scrolling beat 'em up and platformer. Well, it's mostly beat 'em up actually, with a nice array of like weapons you can pick up to use. I'm using the bog standard stones here, but later on you get to use like bazookas and homing missiles and bombs and stuff. Although strangely there's no sticks of dynamite, which is a bit funny considering the name is Dynamite Dux, but hey ho, there's the bombs. Whee! And there's some great character and sprite designs here and animation, kind of reminiscent really of like the Warner Bros cartoons, like you know, Bugs Bunny and stuff from Tex Avery, as was noted in the Wikipedia article. But oh yeah, there's the bazooka in action. And then you later get there's 2 boss battles per level. One appears midway, and then there's another one at the end. Here's like the first mid-level boss. Rather cool, sort of angry flame boss there. And you get a nice water pistol weapon to use against him. But yeah, this plays really well, and it's a really fun arcade game. There's only sort of 6 stages. So it shouldn't take you too long to complete, but I tell you what, the boss battles are quite tricky actually. The rest of it just takes a bit of patience to get through the levels. But hey ho, on to the Amstrad version. Bit of a plain loading screen really, but that is the Dynamite Dux logo in rather strange colours actually. Don't know why they've used that colour scheme. Here's the introduction sequence, which moves through far too quickly, so you may have to rewind and pause the video to read the text there. But basically it's the same as what we saw in the arcade footage. So yes, released by Activision software and programmed by Core Design. Now Core Design, you may remember, they did like games like Rick Dangerous, Impossible and others, and the Monty Python's Flying Circus conversion. They later went on to do Tomb Raider. But anyway, let's start this up. And as you can see, it looks absolutely gorgeous. And of course, you know, squeezing like a really powerful arcade machine into a humble 8-bit system like Amstrad would be quite a challenge. But I think they've really captured the feel of the coin-op, but stayed within the limitations of the Amstrad really well. The graphics are absolutely stonking, and again the sprite designs and stuff look really nice. There's some lovely animation, and it all moves really smoothly, both like the sprites and the scrolling. And we've got really smooth multi-directional scrolling as well. Now sadly, as you notice, there was no music on the title screen and there's no music in game. But the sound effects are really good. Some nice sort of shooting and explosion noises, there's noises for jumping and yeah, and things being thrown at you. But the controls are really tight and responsive as well, which is quite important when you've got lots of sprites on the screen and you're having to coordinate your jumps and attacks. And there's also some tricky jumps here and there over chasms and stuff. And we've already reached the midway boss here. Doesn't look quite as impressive as the arcade one, but here's a little tip for you. There's a little position around about here, I keep getting it wrong, where the flames can't get you. And it's there. So you want to stand there, and the flames from this boss can't hit you. Now you've got to be really quick, guys, in moving through the level and defeating bosses, because oh yeah, we can see the score changing to danger there, and you start losing some of your energy if you take too long. Then there's two routes through the level you can go through. On this first level, I think we'll go for the higher route actually. For a minute. Some routes are easier than others. Some routes are slightly harder, but will produce a weapon that will be really useful, perhaps against a boss battle. On this first level, we're going to go for the higher route. And Bin, your duck there, he looks really cute with his little red bow tie, I think. Yeah, and I think this is a really cute and nice game actually. I think both kids and adults can enjoy this. Lots of health pickups in the way of food, like pieces of cake and hot dogs. And I've got a really cool homing missile weapon. Yes, the like the geysers of water there, they'll take energy off you. But yeah, we've got some crocodiles there. They like to shoot their teeth out at you. There's absolutely tons and tons of enemies in the game as well. So they really do vary. So impressed by that. Now I'm glad I went through the top way, because I've got this nice weapon now that shoots sort of rockets out, and we can use it against this boss. And that's the end of level boss dealt with. And then we can go on to level 2. Now there's 6 levels in the game, just like in the arcade original. That first level was downtown, we're now on to the Japan level. And then we're followed by a jungle level, a level in Chicago, a level in Texas, then finally we go to the Achacha region. And there's those guys there, they're sumo pigs, because we're in Japan, I guess. And we also start seeing like moles appearing out the ground and disappearing. Now already on to like the midsection boss here, which appears quite early on. Now he's one of those like Chinese dragons, and underneath him are supposed to be like little people, though you can't really make it out in the sprite. But if you've got that rocket weapon, he's quite easily dispatched. And again here, guys, there's 2 routes we could have chosen. We're going to go for the higher route again, because we get this flamethrower weapon. Now those guys with rocket launchers are a real pain in the arse. They're probably the hardest enemies in the game. Oh, for some reason there I've ignored the flamethrower weapon. I'm not sure why I did that. Oh, there's a hot dog to pick up. Oh, and there's treasure chests situated throughout the levels, which will just give you like bonus points. So be careful picking them up, because there's usually some kind of enemy around them that will cause you some damage. Now, as I said, the midsection boss comes a lot earlier in this level for some reason. But yeah, guys, you need to make a quick progress. Spend too long, your energy starts disappearing. Yeah, but this level's pretty easy. I mean, you can get through the game quite quickly actually. As long as like the homing missile guys aren't around, you can sort of like run and jump through the levels pretty quickly actually. It's just some of the boss battles are absolutely rock hard. So yeah, make steady but quick progress, and just watch out for these goddamn homing missile guys. Shame the game doesn't have music. I think it would have really made it a really excellent package overall. Now he's not too hard to defeat. Just get like a nice position there. Oops. Not doing very well there. Where I am now, and you won't get hit by the rocks, and usually the lightning bolts will miss you. Usually, but oh, that was quite lucky there. We killed him just as we got hit with the lightning. And I don't know if you noticed there, guys, but if you hold down the fire button, Ben, your duck there, he starts swinging his fists around and does like a super punch when you release the fire button. Which is only really useful on the boss encounters. When he does it in the arcade original, when you swing your fist and release, he sort of like flies forward a few paces, so you can use that to take out quite a few enemies at a time. But unfortunately he doesn't do that on the Amstrad version, but it does have quite a range on that punch. But it's probably not worth risking. Ah, just lost my weapon to that homing missile guy. Now we're going to get that weapon and jump back up here to avoid those homing missile guys again. And we're making good progress. With that weapon we can use it against this like sort of stone boss. He's pretty easy to defeat. He doesn't have any attack against you apart from moving left and right. So you can either stay under him or stay at the side and fire off lots of your weapon. So yeah, that's one of the easier bosses in the game for sure. And I'm going to take the lower route here because we get this flamethrower weapon, which is really cool. And you can dispatch lots of enemies really quickly with this. Oh, get the energy pickup. Some of the sprites there are getting a little bit lost on the floor there due to the colours used, but god damn, it's a really colourful and great looking game. Now your flamethrower weapon doesn't last for too long, and I really could have used it against these guys here, so I needed to have been a lot quicker there. Ooh, but for some reason they're not shooting their rockets out at me yet. Now occasionally there is a bit of a bug where the enemy in question stops like firing their weapon at you for some strange reason. And talking of bugs, here's one real killer bug coming up here. Do not pick up the water pistol just yet. Now pick it up. Now, if you did, I found there's a bug where if you pick up that water pistol, you immediately take a hit, and then you lose the weapon before the boss appears. And so basically you're left without a water pistol to defeat the flame boss, which means he's impossible to defeat then. And I couldn't work out why that was happening until I realised I'm picking it up too quickly before the boss appears. And if you've got a weapon before a boss appears, and then he gets an attack on you, you immediately lose that weapon. But the water pistol should stay around, and it should stay around after the boss appears anyway, which is a bit of a shame, which is why I've taken so long before getting around to this conversion, because I did look at this actually quite a few years ago to do. And so yeah, it's a bit of a shame there are a couple of bugs like that, but there are ways around it, and the game is completable if you just know what the bugs are. And guys, this is one of the hardest bosses in the game. I absolutely hate this boss. He's a real swine to deal with. Now in the arcade original you'd be doing like jump attacks, and he'd be sort of floating in the air above you. and then you just have to avoid the stars. But no, he's basically along the floor here, so you'll always take hits from him from the star, the main star. So heck, you know, to hell with it. I'm gonna lose a life here, and then get in the middle of him, get lots of punches on him. So this is the only point in the game, guys. I'm gonna lose a life. I'll probably lose a second life here, but I don't care. But I think you get your lives replenished at the start of a new level and stage, which is kind of generous. I'm not sure if that's actually a bug in the disk dump, or if that's supposed to happen, but you'll see on the next level I get all my lives back. That's very generous of the game. Perhaps I've accumulated some bonus lives from my score that hasn't been applied yet. I don't know. Now I'm taking the lower route here again. Can't remember why this is better. This is the better route. I think there's less homing missile rocket guys here. In fact, I don't think there's any. I think there's loads on the upper route, if I remember correctly, and we like to avoid them. But yeah, only 2 more levels to go after this one, guys, and we're very near the end of this level. Now you can jump over the rockets and they will eventually disappear, but you've got to be really careful. You can also punch the rockets out of the sky as well, but you have to be really have to have really good reflexes and sort of punch a lot quicker before, a lot sooner than you imagine, to punch the rockets out of the sky. Anyway, like the flame boss in the first level, again, find that position where I am here, and he's easily defeated. But he takes a while to defeat, and then we start getting the danger message flashing up when we start losing energy. That's really annoying. I'd rather just have like a general timer on the level that when it reaches 0, you know, it's lose a life and start again or something. But I suppose it stops you from sort of like you know, sticking around a screen for too long and like inching your way through, making slow progress to defeat the game, or being really careful on the boss battles. So I suppose it's probably a good mechanism, really. Makes the gameplay a little bit more frantic, actually, to be honest, because I'm trying to get through the level really quickly. Oh, damn it, mistimed it there. I think we need to go the lower route here. I think the reason being is there's a nice flamethrower weapon which will allow me to sort of sift through a large amount of these bad guys. Oh, no. I think that's another lower section later on. Never mind. Ah, we've got a penguin midsection boss here. Very easy to defeat. Sort of stay where I am. Use your super punch and just attack the outer penguins. Even if it's pretty much the same penguin you're hitting each time. There you go. It's quite easily defeated. So some of the bosses are really quite easy, actually. Ah yes, this is where we need to hit the lower section. Just watch out for the homing missile guy there. But this is where we get the flamethrower weapon. We can get through things really quickly. The only minor complaint about this game is sometimes the collision detection to me feels a little bit off. Like sometimes when I've been doing this level with that flamethrower weapon, I've just walked through those enemies at the same level and suddenly I'm taking hits, and other times not, and I'm a little bit suspicious about that. And sometimes you're thinking you've got like a punch or an attack on a guy, like from above or below him, and it's not made a connection, but then he gets a hit on you. Hard to sort of describe and illustrate, really. So I'm not 100% sure the collision detection is completely correct, but you know what? There's no kind of like massive square fields around sprites and stuff like some really bad games used to have. for the most of the time it's absolutely perfect, the collision detection, but then there's a couple of situations where it's not. Yeah, there's another end of level boss there, like the one I think we had at the end of level, was it level 1 he appeared? Same again, quite easy to defeat, but there's occasionally another bug actually on that boss. Sometimes he moves off to the far left of the screen, and he moves so far off it he doesn't move back again, and he's impossible to hit. That was really annoying. And if I found I sort of stood where I was for most of that boss battle, that doesn't occur. So a shame about a couple of bugs there, because I think for me it loses a few marks for that. And it loses a few marks for like not having like music and stuff, but the sound effects are really good. But the rest of it, I think for an arcade conversion, considering the source material, I think they've done an absolutely superb job here, guys. I mean, the graphics are absolutely fantastic. Sprites move really smoothly, really tight responsive controls. Yeah, and really smooth multi-directional scrolling as well. I mean, what more can you ask from an Amstrad? So well done, core design. Obviously they're really impressed with like Rick Dangerous 1 and 2. I always secretly wish that like Rick Dangerous had like proper scrolling and not sort of screen by screen. But this is excellent, and I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10 as a review score. It may have got a 9.5 out of 10 if it didn't have those bugs and it had like music in game, or at least on the title screen. But this is the final level, guys. So we've not got far to go. And there is an ending sequence to watch as well, even if it is a little bit simple, but it's nice that it's got that. But yeah, I think 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 overall, definitely. And do you know what? It's really fun to play as well. There's a couple of annoyances, you know. I really hate those homing missile guys. Really annoying. Especially when they attack you and knock you off the edge of the cliff or something like that, and you fall to your doom. But if you time it right, you can get through them. And we shouldn't be too far off the final boss battle now. And yeah, you can jump up and shoot to get rid of enemies on a higher level than you. Quickly avoid all those rocket guys, and then that's pretty much it, plain sailing through to the boss battle, which is actually quite easy. We've got that stone man again. This time he's throwing flames at you, but he's quite quick to get rid of. Now here's Achacha, the final boss in the game. Again, quite easy to defeat. If you get behind him, he kind of gets stuck and his flames can't hit you. So use your super punch a few times and he's a goner. Hey! And that, guys, is Dynamite Dux completed. Raha! And here comes the ending sequence. Yay! So poor Lucy has been rescued and she's all happy. She's been reunited with her pet duck Bin, and she's jumping for joy in a field of flowers there or something. So there you go, guys. Dynamite Dux on the Amstrad CPC. All that's left for me to do is enter my high score in the high score table. Let's see where I came. We came top there. Awesome. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. 9 out of 10 from me. Hope you enjoyed, and see you next time. Cheers. Bye.